What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So I wanted to talk about this particular topic in relation to Charlotte Flair and her most likely winning at this year's WrestleMania against Tiffany Stratton. Now, the reason why I feel that way even more strongly than I did before is because she recently had some type of interview or made some type of statement recently that's been kind of getting some buzz on social media, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now. Charlotte Flair was quoted saying, "I plan on breaking my dad's record. That's something I want to do and will do. But if John is the first to break it, then I will break John's record," says Charlotte Flair via The Independent. Now, I've been seeing this particular quote float on social media since since this was, since she said this and this was put out. I ended up tweeting basically saying, well, she's definitely winning at WrestleMania this year for sure. And I had been feeling like that from the jump since they announced, since she announced that she was going against Tiffany Stratton. I just had this feeling like I just don't see them having her come back to win the Royal Rumble and have her lose. Would I be okay if she did the job for Tiffany and put her over at WrestleMania this year? I think that would be awesome, but I don't think that's happening. I don't. I think honestly, especially with her making this statement, I do think, what WWE is going to try to do is tout the idea of her breaking her father's record. If John Cena breaks it, which I do think he possibly will this year as well, basically breaking her father's record and John Cena's record, and to be touted as the greatest women's WWE champion of all time with the most title reigns. I do see WWE doing that to give her that stat. Simple. She's a Flair. I can see them telling that story. Charlotte Flair is the most decorated women's champion of all time. I understand that's most likely the route they're going to go. And the only way you can do that is one of the faster ways you can do that is have her win at this year's WrestleMania. Me personally, I still don't want to see that. I'm sure she's going to get a title win this year for sure, but I don't think it should be at the expense of Tiffany, even though they haven't done much with Tiffany Stratton as champion. I do think it would be a cool gesture for Charlotte to do the job for Tiffany at WrestleMania, to at least give her title reign some type of credibility in the sense of she beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I think that's good enough on its own. And then afterwards, she could possibly drop it like at Backlash. I would prefer that. If anything, her retain, and you can build the story of Charlotte's so cocky. She got too cocky, and it cost her. She didn't take Tiffany Stratton seriously, and she ended up losing. You can go that route because this entire build, Charlotte has been cocky. Charlotte has been belittling Tiffany as a transitional champion of sorts. So I think from a standpoint of really building that idea that Tiffany belongs and she deserves to be champion, I would have it be a situation where Charlotte got too cocky, got too arrogant, and it cost her the match. And you can build the rematch off of, I didn't take you seriously, but now I do. You could do something like that. Because going into this match, she's the overwhelming babyface. Even though they haven't really done her favors with the back and forth and stuff like that verbally against Charlotte, she's still the babyface, and people overwhelmingly want to see her retain. It's just, I'm still leaning towards they're most likely probably not. I would be surprised if they did let Tiffany retain, and then maybe the next PLE you could have her drop it. Cool. And another reason why I'm very skeptical, not only just with what she said here, breaking her dad's record. I'm very skeptical of Tiffany retaining because we saw what they were teasing. You saw on SmackDown that they're teasing the Jade and Charlotte feud. They've done it once when Jade first got to WWE. They did it once, And now they're revisiting that. And I think they've had a little interaction since then on Twitter about that face off. There's a reason why they're doing that. And you only are going to build that feud up with Charlotte as champion. It's not going to work if Jade is the champion. Jade would be the babyface. She would be chasing. Charlotte would have to be the champion for this feud to make sense, which means there's a good chance that from now to SummerSlam, it's a good chance Charlotte will be champion, and I can honestly see that happening at this year's WrestleMania, and then eventually they try to build up to it, and we can see this potentially be a main event or one of the main events, because they're gonna have 2 nights at SummerSlam, I believe, this year. So maybe they could set this up as a main event, or at least it's going to be a match they have at SummerSlam. Charlotte versus Jade, if that's something that they decide to do, it's a big time match. So, and it would be Jade chasing Charlotte. So, and at that point, maybe possibly you can do a situation where Charlotte does the job for Jade, she drops it, and then go from there. And then eventually at some point later on this year, maybe Charlotte gets the title back again. Either way, she's definitely going to be a multiple time champion within these next few years, especially if they're doing something like this. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because the only thing about Charlotte's title reigns that for me have been kind of like iffy in my opinion is because of how many title reigns she's had, how the titles have been just thrown to her, back and forth. She'll either lose it, then get it right back like relatively quickly. Like it was one of those things where the titles at one point, the women's titles, were just kind of being tossed around like props, and those reigns don't have the longevity or you remembering them in such a great manner. Like they came off as just stat padding. Like, all right, cool. Like, at least with the John Cena stuff, that's years and years of building that up, 20 plus years. That makes sense. Even in a lot of those a lot of those title runs probably shouldn't have happened, but that's neither here nor there. That's a long time. With Charlotte, it's been relatively quick, and it's come off as, well, she's Charlotte Flair. She's the top woman, one of the top acts in WWE. We're just going to throw the title on her because she's Charlotte Flair. And I don't want to take anything away from her because she is fantastic in the ring. Let's not take that away. I will always say Charlotte can go in the ring. She definitely lives up to her father's name for sure when it comes to just being really good in the ring. But I also can understand why some people, including myself, would be like, I think a lot of those titles are just kind of stat padded. I think those title opportunities could have been to somebody else or someone else in the division. You feel me? So that's just my personal take on it. But most likely with her saying what she said, which I'm willing to believe is definitely true and something that WWE management and creative are going to be looking forward to trying to complete with Charlotte in her career at some point down the line, it's not looking too good for Tiffany Stratton. It's just not. So comment down below. Let me know. I want to know y'all percentages of Tiffany Stratton retaining at this year's WrestleMania. I'm going with 90% Tiffany loses, 10% she retains. I want to know y'all percentages in y'all head. Do y'all think Tiffany Stratton will retain against Charlotte? Because I just don't see it being high, bro. Nothing higher than 10%, bro, of her retaining. Because I would be surprised. I hope it's the case, but it's Charlotte, bro. She's already said she's trying to break her dad's record. It's GG's. But I appreciate all the love, support. Road to 150K. Appreciate y'all kicking with me. See you on the next one. Peace.